What's up, everybody? Welcome to this week's installment of the FTI podcast. Joining us this evening, we have Lance Heinberger. Did I get that pronunciation correct? Okay.
Yes, sir. That is correct.
It's the German in me that got it.
Yeah.
I think Dan might have froze.
I don't know what
Froze
is it frozen?
happening with Dan. But with us this evening as well is my lovely co-hosts Chris and Dan. Maybe Dan, he should be right there on your screen. He'll be joining us back here in a second. But to continue our series, our unofficial series of 410 sprint car drivers, we have Lance with us this evening. It seems to be our biggest theme is 410 sprint car drivers. So welcome to the show, Lance.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
I mean, the 410 drivers, they're just all stuck up, egotistical guys. They just always want to be a limelight and be on the be on the camera and stuff. So that's why it's always them.
When we first started this, I hated that we did it on camera. The first episode we did, I didn't even do it on camera because I didn't even have a webcam. I went out the Wii we bought it and bought my GoPro, and that's what I used to as my camera.
Yeah, I had a massive camcorder on a tripod, and then I sold that and bought my mirrorless, which is probably it's way overboard for this, but it works.
So how you been, Lance? How's the off season been? This is I guess this is your first real off season, I guess, even though you didn't do a whole lot last year.
Yeah.
How last year go? I mean, last year was technically your rookie season in sprint cars. How that transition from your mod lights kind of go, and kind of explain that and how your year kind of started to unfold for you?
Right. Well, for starters, I guess we got the car back in September of 22, and took probably, I don't know, being new and having nothing, it took a little bit to get together. So we didn't actually get close to even ready, like motor in the car, wrap everything, till like middle of May, and then by the time we were actually like ready with the trailer and everything, it was middle of July when we got out because of rainouts and stuff like that. But just getting into it, everyone's saying, oh, you're going to drive a sprint car, you're this, you're that, you're crazy, and jumping from like 200 and some horsepower in the Mod Light to what I had was like 750 with the Dash 12 I had. It was definitely an eye-opener. You couldn't really tell as much at like Hilltop. That was my first race with the Fast Series. You couldn't really tell down there because you're not really in the throttle that much and it slicks off real easy. Then we went to Wayne County and it took like end of the second to the beginning of the third night to actually get full throttle, and it's like, wow, it comes up pretty quick. But my biggest thing with the sprint car was when I ran the Mod Light and all the go-kart and all that stuff, not as much in the go-kart, but more the Mod Light, like you drive it into the corner and you lift, set the car on the bars and get back into the throttle. Now with this, you got to somewhat stay in the throttle to not upset the car. And that's like the biggest game changer for me. Just trying to figure all that out. Seat time in general.
Yeah, learning to drive it and kind of getting used to that the initial feel of how it's supposed to feel like it's moving and what's right and what's wrong is always like a difficult first little speed bump you have to learn. But it seems like most people are that at least get into their racers and usually figure it out pretty quick. I remember I was racing you a couple times last year, so we always had fun. How's been like working on the car? I know a lot of people, like for me, not really racing from anything, going into the sprint cars, it was almost easier, I think, to kind of grasp it. What was the
Mhm.
difference between like big setup wise and maintenance wise on your mod light to jumping
Right.
to trying to work on sprint car, because you might almost have to forget a lot of stuff that you already knew.
Yeah. Well, in the mod light, like you actually have like your rear end, drive shaft, all that stuff. Oh, I didn't have a quick change in it, so it was a Toyota 8-bolt, a little heavier. So, yeah, it's just heavy end, and it didn't even really want to get up and on the bars or anything like that. And then uh, you had your springs. Your adjustments are kind of the same with your radius rods, but you would have like more than 3 holes on one side or 2 holes on the other side. You had like 8 to 10, so you had a little bit more adjustment when it came to that. But like I said, that thing was so heavy, it barely even got up on it or anything like that. Um, yeah, just having springs. Other than that, I mean, the mod light itself, I would say would be probably one of the middle steps between go-kart where I started to the sprint car. That'd probably be like a decent, like in betweener, I guess, trying to get stuff figured out. But when you get to the sprint car stuff, you might as well just throw everything out the window because it's completely different ball game. And I've just been very fortunate to have some people that led me the correct way, I guess, and maybe I might catch on a little sooner than later. So,
Yeah, it's always the goal. So you started flat carts.
yeah,
How have you done the whole racing thing from before? Has it always been like a family deal, like with your dad?
yeah,
Is mom involved a lot? Any siblings, or how'd all that kind of start for you, and kind of what it's grown into now?
right. Well, actually, just starting out my go-kart career, that would have been like my 8th grade year. So I'd have been like, what, 13 or 14, 15,
Mhm.
somewhere around there. I ended up racing karts with one of my best friends, and his dad and my dad, they kind of just got together, and it was more like a family deal. And then ever since then, mom, sister, sometimes grandma goes, girlfriend, friends, neighbors, whatever, they all go. And the mod light, we ran that for 3 years. The go-karts we ran for 4 years. And then jumping into this, the sprint car, we kind of figured, how things were playing out. That when I first initially got it, that we weren't going to get to the track at first. So we were kind of just playing it by ear and getting everything ready. And I got a very good support team and a lot of people that want to help out. And that's the one thing that's like really different from racing the go-karts and the mod lights, because they don't gain that attention from anybody else really. So without a lot of people in my corner, I don't even think we'd be able to do it.
Yeah, and as I think I always point it out on every time we say it, but it's one of those things that we all love about it. The friendships and the relationships you gain out of the racing, and build off it. There's really not much else like it. Between photographers and podcasts or racers or whatever the hell it is, it's always a pretty sweet deal how it turns out. What I know this year you kind of said some stuff, but what's kind of some goals you have for this year? You plan on following any series? Are you trying to just kind of stay local and do some Wayne County stuff? Maybe some Attica stuff, Hilltop stuff. What are you kind of thinking there wise?
Well, so I'm like brand new to this, like 3 races in. Um, I got practice under my belt. We're just gonna kind of go with the flow, I guess. I got a newer motor that's a lower end all pro, so I'll have a little bit more horsepower under my belt with that instead of the dash 12 that I had that ended up uh, breaking a spring and bending rods and the valves, and yeah, it was just a mess. So um, yeah, we're just gonna see how long it's gonna take to get comfortable, and I don't know. With everything that's going on with Attica Fremont, I think that they're going to draw like a bunch more cars. But I don't know in the long run. Like I can't predict any of this stuff. Wayne County, that's our local track, and I've ran there twice already, so I have some seat time there. Not a whole lot, but we'll probably stick to that a little bit more because we're familiar with it and it's close to home, and then I can really start to learn the car better. I don't have any plans to run any series or anything like that because it kind of locks me down to specifically running that series. So we can't really branch out and try other tracks, or, I can't guarantee that we're going to be there every week to run their series, but if we can, make it through night one on to night two, so it's just one of them deals. I can't afford to go out
one night
there
at a time.
destroy a car.
Yeah.
Off the rip. So.
Yeah, that's always a hard thing. A lot of people are,
Yeah.
doing their family shoestring budgets and doing everything they can to make it work. You can't just a lot of times put it all out to risk on the first go.
Right.
It'd be cool. You've been in
to,
Wayne County too for a while, and you're
goals.
younger too. So I think all fans and people like seeing the younger drivers starting coming up. And obviously a couple of them I've seen you in mod lights before, probably at Hilltop and stuff. So it'll be cool.
Yep.
Seeing you kind of grow up and being more of a driver, and it'll be sweet for the fans to watch. What I know you went to. What did you graduate from at UNOH? Because you're a UNOH racer, correct?
Yeah, I got an associate's degree in automotive and high performance technology. So it's two separate combined in one. Yeah, I was there for 2.5, 3 years, and I played baseball while I was there too. And then commuted and came back home so I could run the mod light as much as I could.
So did you ever get to go around Limaland?
Believe it or not, the closest I've been to Limaland is iRacing.
Wow.
Yeah.
How do you go to a motorsport school as a racer and play baseball?
Well, you see, so I was trying to go somewhere to play ball anyway, and I didn't really think I was going to end up going there. So I thought I was just going to do like the business side of something and play baseball. But then I had this account for my baseball highlights and stuff like that. It's called like an NCSA, Next College Student Athlete or whatever. And I was just like, you know what? Like, I'm into racing. This is what I want to do in the long run. And maybe I'll just reach out to their coach. And I did. And they emailed me and they're like, hey, come up for a workout and all this stuff. And next thing you know, they offered me a scholarship. And I'm like, oh, they got the high performance program. And, it was
UNH is cool. I always wanted to go there. I never did. I always thought it was sweet. The racers. And I knew they had baseball and stuff there too. And I played baseball growing up. So I always thought it was pretty sweet how they kind of did it, but it was cool to, kind of be able to go to school for racing and still playing baseball and still getting a degree all at the same time. Sounds pretty cool.
Yeah, it was cool. The way they do their classes and stuff up there, you get like a 6-week session. So like, yeah, a month and a couple weeks or whatever, and you're on to the next class. And then next thing you know, you're basically graduating.
Yeah.
So,
I did automotive at Stark State, and it was that way. I did an automotive program there when I started out doing what I do, and yeah, it's kind of nice when you do it that way. You're just like done with the class real quick, and
right. It was nice, but at the same time, it kind of sucked too, because like if you got into a program where you were like enjoying it or really curious about what was actually going on and wanted more detail to it, like it was over. Like there was nothing else, You take tests and you go out there, you do some hands-on stuff, and then it's done and over with. So.
Yeah, I always thought it was cool. So your degree in there has any of that relayed over to the racing you're doing? Or is that kind of
yes
like a broad type of high performance thing, or how's that kind of maybe helped or not at all helped you?
Right. So it's pretty broad. I mean, there's a lot of stuff like They kind of teach you like maintenance stuff. Now, maintaining a sprint car is completely different than just your typical race car, but they kind of like give you some inside tips and stuff like that. When it comes to the sprint car stuff, I think the steering and suspension class, you talk about like your Jacob's ladder and all your birdcage stuff, all that stuff for like a couple of days. But other than that, you don't really hit anything on sprint cars. They actually have one of Tony Stewart's old midgets from the, I think, Chili Bowl. It was a Mopar car from a long, long time ago, like early 2000s.
Like the
They
black,
kinda
white,
just-
blue one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they have a steering and suspension class. They just kind of go over like different types of suspensions and stuff. So you spend a couple of days on that stuff. But other than that, they don't really touch sprint cars. They're more based on late model deal and the late models and the modifieds. Now that they got some deal with Longhorn,
Oh, okay.
so it
Yeah, I knew
kinda
they're always
sucks being
big
a
into like the
sprint car
modifieds.
fan.
It always seemed like they had multiple modifieds and stuff when they
Yeah.
always did their classes and stuff.
Right. And then when I was up there, I was always like, these modifieds are all right, but it'd be really nice if they got some newer stuff where they can work on it and be easier to adjust. As soon as I graduate, boom, brand new Longhorns, and now they have a class and all that stuff. So that's how it typically goes.
Yeah, that's funny.
But the thing with that was they have a race team up there, and I thought about doing that while I was there and not playing baseball and just trying to drive for them. But I heard, 1 week you could be the driver, the next week you'd be changing tires and stuff. And I'm like, look, I got my own car at the house. I'll just go home and drive it,
Yeah. Yeah, I remember looking into that for when it was one of those deals where it kind of just revolved around of whoever was up and
Right.
how it kind of went that week. You said iRacing, and I know we've talked about this with a couple of guys we've had on here. I know you do a lot of iRacing like a lot of us, but you do a little more of the leagues and bigger stuff on iRacing with is it Majulis?
Yeah, a little bit. I do a little bit of racing with Chris Ferguson, the late model driver. I think I don't even know if he's in a series right now. He runs a bunch of the Hunt the Front stuff. If you watch the Hunt the Front page on YouTube.
Yep.
So, yeah, but Blake Majulis is like their head guy over there building setups and stuff. And I actually met Blake at Eldora, and they had their simulator there for the World 100 weekend. He's like, "Oh, you're Lance?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And he goes, "Just hop on." So turned some free laps, and it was completely different than my setup, so I didn't do as good. But can't make that an excuse.
Yeah, iRacing stuff's cool. I've been a fan of iRacing I think I've had iRacing since I was a sophomore in high school, since about 2010, I think was the first year I bought iRacing. So I've been on there for a while, and I love it. I think it's sweet. I love all the stuff that it kind of does. Do you notice anything? I know for me, you don't get the ass factor and the movement of your car. Do you ever get anything positive out of iRacing between, concentrating or hitting your marks or setting people up to pass in the game?
Right.
There's not a lot to transfer over to real life, but does it help you when you stay on the game and kind of keep turning those laps, or is it strictly one of those getaway things for you?
Well, it's kind of a mixture of both. So when it comes to racing, like when you're racing on there, you can visually see like the other car. It depends on if you play VR, if you're just on a monitor, but I've done both, and VR is way better, but they got so many updates and stuff that's really twitchy where you can't really like get it perfect, but you can really visually see the other cars and learn how to pass them and slide them and clear them, and then how far away you are from the wall and all that stuff. So it's actually like legit practice for racing, but like you said, you don't have that feel it in your ass factor and all the vibrations and all the other stuff that's playing a factor into the race car. So I'd say it's more for fun, and yeah, it is practice, but I think it's more for one of those guys that can't afford to do the real deal and just wants to have fun with some buddies. Which
So
can go around
Jared
doing
had
that.
asked in our chat, what was the biggest adjustment from the mod lights to the sprints?
Who's that?
Jared in our chat had asked, what's the biggest adjustment from?
Jared.
It just depends on if he's asking from a driver standpoint. Yeah, like I said earlier, just once you hit the corner, usually in the mod light, like you roll out of the throttle and get up on the bars and then center off, you're back in it. The sprint car, like I remember, I think it was the night I ended up blowing my motor up. I went into 1 and 2 on a restart, and you're hauling in there, and the car actually jumped up in front of me, so I tapped the brake and let out of the backed out of the throttle a little bit, and it sucked me right up into the wall. And I actually ended up riding it back down, like not like Ross Chastain, but basically, but putting the right rear up on the guardrail, and there's a picture of it and everything. And I'm like, wow, that actually happened. I didn't feel anything. It was just kind of one of them butthole pucker moments where it's like, you better turn this thing or you're going to go in the pond.
Yeah, it's always a weird feel, especially when you kind of do those things.
Right.
Kind of surprise yourself, and you don't really know you did it. You didn't really mean to do it.
Right.
Luckily,
Well, I was
it
telling
kind of.
Dad, like, it's almost like when a car accident is about to happen, like right at that moment, like you're like, this is going to happen, like, it's just one of them things where you like don't know what to do and your body freezes up, and then you blink and you drive her down off the wall.
Shout out Jared for always being on here and commenting too. What's up,
Yeah,
Jared?
he's doing good. I've seen him the past couple of weeks on here.
Yeah, he's been paying attention and watching all the drivers we're having on here. What I know you didn't get to run last year too much and had some issues on a couple times, but what last year, even if it wasn't a whole race or a whole night, what was the best run that you kind of took away from last year that you kind of are rolling into momentum for this year? Whether it was a good heat race, a good whole night, start to finish.
Right.
What good run did you have that kind of keeps that fire fueling over the winter to roll into this year?
Well, the very first night we ran at Hilltop. There was 21 cars, and I think I qualified like 14th or 15th. And the only time I've ever been in the sprint car was like 2 or 3 days before that at Hilltop. And I only ran like 20 laps. I'm like, you know what? There's some good cars in here. Like, that's pretty impressive for never ever doing it, And honestly, with the sprint car, I might not have shown it speed wise yet, or, I need the experience, but that is the most comfortable I've ever felt in a race car, which is weird to say. And then other than that, another thing that was pretty nice to feel was at Wayne County. I think it was the second or third night, either towards the end of the night, the second night, or the beginning of the third night. I finally got to like full throttle, and I'm like, it gives you that relief feeling of like, okay, that's it, but you got to like hold on to it. Next thing you know, the corner's up. So it's one of them things where it's not completely slowed down for me yet, and it's going to take a while, but just to feel like, I got the pedal to the floor, and, that's what it is. You're racing now. So I think the biggest thing for me is going to be adjusting from the size of the mod light to the sprint car. Like, if somebody's trying to slide me or I'm sliding them and just trying to get ready to pass people. I actually had one car go over the left front tire of my front axle and hub and everything, and almost hit my nose wing, and actually just jumped right over me like nothing happened. He came up, he's like, "Hey, sorry, I jumped you." And I'm like, "Yeah, like not a big deal or nothing, but just kind of scared the crap out of me because I wasn't like ready for it, The mod light, they are actually open in the front, so open wheel car, like modified. So I'm used to having the open wheel, but I just wasn't really expecting a 106 circumference tire almost go over my front end,
Yeah, that's got to be an
Yeah, it's
eye-opening
definitely
moment.
an eye-opener.
So, what is like your dream track to race at. So if you had any track to choose from, what would be your top pick?
Right. So, I mean, obviously, I think everybody's choice would be to go run Eldora, but like
What's with
financially,
everybody in Eldora? Come on now.
I don't
They're
know.
not that great.
Kyle, I think
No,
you're
honestly,
just
I think
bitter.
We'll
Maybe,
get you in
maybe.
for a media pass this year, and then you have to reevaluate how you stand about it.
Yeah. If they want me to talk good about them, then they better give me a media pass so I can see how good it is.
Nah, fair point. You know, have you guys gone to Eldora and just been there as a spectator?
That's the one of the ones we haven't. No.
Oh,
No, I've never
man,
been
you
there.
This
gotta
year
go.
is going to
Like,
be their first year.
I'm
Right.
already looking to take those days off, Dan. So I should be.
We'll get
yeah,
the
I think we're
fireworks
going
ready.
camping. I think we're going camping for the first time. Wednesday through Saturday, so it's gonna be a big money week for us, you know.
Yeah, I love that week because it's nice because it's a good break between if you don't race it, it's basically a break from racing, because everyone
Right.
else is there and nothing else is really going on for that. So you get to race the weekend before and kind of go to Eldora and hang out, and the next weekend you get to race. So it is a
Yep.
nice little break if you do still enjoy. I don't want to go watch a normal night. I'd rather go race those nights. But for the big Kings Royal week, I'll definitely
Yep.
I definitely will enjoy going to watch that. Love everything about it. The golf cart races in the campgrounds, the fireworks
Yeah,
shows,
it's crazy. Toilet water.
toilet water. See,
Yep. Gotta get one.
Cobb.
Everybody in this toilet water, man.
Yeah, dude. It's something
With
else.
it.
I think we're just out of the loop, Kyle. We decided to do something else last year instead of
Hold
going to
on.
hang out.
Hold on. Here we go.
Are you looking up what's
see
in the toilet water?
Yeah, I'm looking
Yeah,
up
it's
what's in it.
everywhere. People got it posted. Yeah, it's good. It's a good deal.
Ooh, okay.
32 of them a day.
Oh God, no.
I see the look.
Apparently, Flow Racing has a recipe for it.
There you go.
That's how you know.
It's that
Sure.
good.
Yeah.
All the
it's
I think
amazing.
everybody has something to say about the toilet water.
Yep.
I mean, everybody.
got
all
some
like
other
little
drinks
driver
there, and I was
interviews,
like,
and they say
nah.
their favorite things. It's always like a pizza burger at Eldora,
Oh yeah.
or the chicken and the toilet water.
And then
What's in it,
also,
Kyle?
Yeah, read this
Like,
out.
I don't even know what this is. It's like some I don't know. It's
you
like
go- If
this
you go to Eldora, you need to
cheap
walk in.
red
ahead,
Maui, blue Maui, whatever the
Yeah.
hell those are.
It's
Sky
like blue
vodka
color.
and 7-Up.
Yeah. I think that blue and red is just like a basic blue and red alcohol. Just
Yeah.
What the fudge is red Maui?
just look it up. Just see.
What kind of Mr. Boston crap is this?
Good?
Okay, so it's a red schnapps, a tropical schnapps, whatever that means.
Okay.
Tropical schnapps.
So it's a blue and red schnapps mixed with some vodka and some 7-Up. And you can get it too with, sometimes you can get it with orange juice. That's how they do make it. I get it without the orange juice, just all 7-Up.
Yeah, orange.
little
I'm not a
bit,
big orange juice fan.
The orange juice makes it really good. Every once in a while, it's just really sweet. If you get it with just
Yeah.
all 7-Up, it kind of lightens it out.
Hmm.
And the bartenders in Eldora, all of them are fantastic usually. Once you go up there and they see you come up for about the 6th time and you keep leaving them tips, you start getting some really good drinks about that time. So
What is
Yep.
what is
Yeah.
the
Beer's cheap
ounce?
there too.
yeah, beer is cheap there too. You get a nice little Eldora bag. They get it with ice. They'll give you bags of ice to keep it cold. They take care of you.
Yep. But if you do go there, you need to. So when you go through, if you go through the general admission gate, usually they have stuff set up like merchandise stuff that's not on like the vendor row down there past the main stands. So whatever's left is on the other side. When you walk right in to the left, they have like some concessions like fair food and stuff like that. There's this guy, I can't remember. I think it's Steve or Dave or something. It's called Steak on a Stick, and they have their own
Yeah.
shirt. Like, it's a big deal. They travel everywhere. Talladega for NASCAR. They go to Knoxville, Eldora, stuff like that. Like, I think it's $8, and you get like 4 pieces of steak on a stick, and it is the best $8. I'll just keep going up all night long. I don't even care.
Dude, it is good. That little sauce they
It's
put on it,
amazing.
that really like dark sauce. Yeah,
Yep.
that's the best. It is really good. There's so many good things, but that's like Wayne County though too. Like I love Wayne County's cheeseburgers. I don't know what it is.
Yeah, I've heard a lot about it. I think I've
It's
had
just
one.
Wayne County cheeseburgers, dude. I
Yeah,
don't know
it's just
who's
like-
on the grill
looks like
back
a
there,
regular
but I
cheeseburger,
know
but
they
it's
are
amazing.
delicious.
Right.
I've never. I tend to eat before I go to the track, so I never eat at the track.
See, I usually get it when I'm like on the way out, like right after our race, like when we're getting paid,
Yeah.
or for
You're
like
all
that's when I'm
dirty.
going up to like get whatever's left over or whatever they're gonna throw away.
Yeah.
And that's usually when I grab a bunch of things for the ride home because sometimes it's a pain stopping somewhere. So usually
Yeah, I
go get a
usually
couple
get the-
cheeseburgers or chicken tenders or
I was gonna say
cheese
I
sticks.
usually tend to do the tendies.
Yeah, tenders are good, man.
Get some
I put the
tendies and
tenders on the
fries.
cheeseburger.
I'm always going up for the mozzarella sticks, but every time you go up there, there's none. Everybody
Really?
always trying to get them.
Speaking
They're
of
always gone.
Wayne and merchandise, the hat they dropped this week.
Yeah, that's pretty sweet.
I might have to go pick that hat up.
They dropped a hat this week.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I've been out of it this week.
I was gonna say, way to pay attention to our friends over at Wayne County there, Kyle.
It's been that is nice. The hoodie's nice, but I'm not sure about the pink.
Come on, it'll bring out the color of your eyes.
Yeah.
It probably would, but
Your
Half
wife
the
would
stands is
love
gonna
it.
be pink.
Your girls would love it.
Speaking of merch and stuff, Lance, you got I know you do a lot of stuff with Apex. Oh, there's shit.
Hi, Bug.
I know you do some stuff with Apex and Angry Duck. I know I'm an Angry Mallard guy. I know we've had some guys on here that are Angry Mallard, Angry Duck. Kurt's cool. I love Kurt. Like I
he's a
said,
good dude.
Joe hooked me up with him a couple years ago, and Kurt's been around a lot last couple years and getting a bunch of guys recruited and going with them. You have I know you dropped your new car the other day, posted a picture of your new car all ready to go. You got any
Yep.
merch plans coming up? You got any anything like that for this coming year, or what's going on there?
Yeah, so haven't really talked to Kurt a whole lot yet. I know he's a busy dude and he's wrapped up with a lot of people. But we're gonna kind of wait until we get a race or two under our belts and wait for something to pop up picture wise, like correct angle and like all the suit helmet, all that, the nice design. That way I can just because I've seen some pictures of other shirts that were like basically the picture on the shirt, and it's all cut out, designed, everything. It looks pretty good. So my shirt from last year, if you go on the website and check it out, it was actually when we took our pictures of the wrap. So it's just in the driveway, but it looks like you're racing. There's nothing wrong with it, but I just want to be, I want to have a
You need
more
that real
detailed shirt.
action.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right. So we're gonna wait till probably the first or second race, and then I'll send
Yeah, look-
Kurt some info. And
Look at that
Hell yeah,
car.
that thing.
yeah, I
Nice
don't know.
shirt.
Rutt over at Apex, he did a very good job. I told him I kind of wanted to invert the design from last year, so I can run the old wings and everything will match up pretty good.
Yeah, that looks good. Yeah, I got to talk to Sean. He hit me up the other day. I got to get back with him, but yeah, Sean always does good on the cars. I love all Sean's designs. He always does a good job.
Yep, definitely a good dude. I know he came over, wrapped the car on Saturday. He was there at like 7:45, and he was there till 3 o'clock, just going crazy. like knocking it all out for me. He even laid stickers inside my trailer and stuff because the guy that helps us with the trailer and stuff, he wanted stickers inside of it where my name and number was there. So when the gate's down, you can see it all and you know who
Yeah, I
it
saw
is.
that was
So
I saw it. It was sweet
it's
up on
pretty
the where it's
nice.
angled.
Right. A lot of people don't have anything like that. Usually they do like banners and stuff,
Yeah.
but I want to be a little different and stick out a little bit.
Yeah, I thought it looked good. It's always sweet to have a new design and some fresh colors on the car.
It's always great from our position that it's not all black.
Yeah, that's the
We
big
said
thing
before,
too. Like the white
Nothing
and the
is
orange
cooler
shows
than an
up.
all black race car,
Yeah,
but it really
Just-
sucks trying to get pictures of them at nighttime.
Yeah, they
Yep.
don't
I try
photograph
to black
well.
it out as much as possible and then just throw my design on it. You know.
Yeah,
lot
I
of-
do.
a
Why
lot
do
of
the
orange
the
this
black
year.
one's hard? Yeah, there is always some orange. Orange is the best color.
Oh
So,
yeah, it just flows.
yeah, I want some bright orange, but maybe on some of the newer stuff on the other car. But I think I'm gonna kind of rock this one a little bit with a little bit of change on it. But it seems to be I haven't really seen a whole lot of local guys' cars yet.
Yeah, I know. Like Trey, they got their car. Well, they went down to Pittsburgh and ran.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure. I seen his car. Sean actually did that one too. I know Tyler Street's got his design, and that's pretty much it for like Wayne County local guys that I know of that have their design done or printed off. You know.
So you on Monday you had a fundraiser
Right.
at
Yeah.
Buffalo Wild Wings. How'd
Buffalo
that go?
Wild Wings. So actually we had one last year before we started, so it was in like May. We had a good turnout last year and a lot of people showed up, and what they do is like you get 10% towards your fundraiser of everyone's bill minus the alcohol sales and the gratuities. Now this year, I don't know if it was because I was a returning like fundraiser person, I guess, but it was 15%, and the turnout was actually probably around the same. There might have been a little less, but the thing was, it was on a Monday night, and it's hard for people to get off work and stuff like that. But we kind of wanted it to be like right before we get ready to go out, and our only options were Mondays or Wednesdays because they do Tuesday night bone-in wings and Thursday boneless, buy one get one. So that's when everybody's out there. So you got to pick a day when it's just a normal night.
yeah.
But we wanted to do a Monday because this week we're trying to button up the car and get it fired. And Monday just kind of it's one of those days where it just drags, So give us something to do and get over that hump and move on through the week.
Yeah, it's cool. I saw you did that last year and saw it was this year. I didn't know they really did that sort of thing. I guess I've seen it before. They do like little fundraisers for like volleyball groups or whatever, but it's actually a pretty cool deal. That
Yeah, it is a pretty cool.
kind of
deal.
just set it up.
One of my buddy's moms is actually like one of the managers. I did it again. Dropped it again. She's one of the managers out there, and she's like, "Hey, they have this thing. You can fill it out and see if you get approved for it." And then that happened, had it, and it was a good turnout. So she's like, "Hey, you can do it every year or whatever." And I applied for it again. We had a good turnout. It just with the times that what they do is it's 4 p.m. to 9 p.m. And 4 o'clock on a Monday, you're hardly going to have any people there right off the rip till about dinner time, 5 to 7. And it was jam packed. Everybody decided to come in all at once. And, I'm going around table to table thanking people for coming and just talking. You got to go over here and talk to this person, then go talk to this person. It's like, oh, give me 5 minutes. And then you're talking to them for an hour, and then you feel bad because they get up and leave. So
Yeah,
it's just one of them things, like we really appreciate the support because being a local guy, like it helps out a lot. And, it might look like we got a bunch, but really, it takes a lot of people to get it going. And if it wasn't for them, we wouldn't even be doing it.
Yeah, it's crazy. Some people do, and some people don't. Understand the whole money thing, and of course we put ourselves in that spot.
Right.
Trying to do it, but yeah, the help and support's always sweet. Especially just as easy as that. It's not like you're asking anybody to give thousands of dollars or hundreds of dollars. It's just, hey, it's just you're gonna eat dinner anyway, have it here, and you
Yeah.
get a certain percentage of it, and
Right.
whether it's $20 or $100, it's still
Yeah, and they
it's
don't
still
have to
good cash
directly
to go
donate.
somewhere.
Yeah, they don't have to directly donate to me. Like they don't have to pull out money out of their wallet and give it to me. They can just eat, and then it comes out automatically.
Yeah, that's
So
cool. That's a
yeah, and
pretty
they
sweet
also
deal that
do
they
like
do.
they do like takeout too. So like you're in a hurry or time crunch, whatever, you can just come in, tell them, hey, we're here for this fundraiser, and then they like mark it all down and stuff like that, and then
That's cool.
add it up. And I think they got like 4 weeks to kind of get in touch with you and let you know, hey, this is how it turned out, and then you get the check in the mail or whatever. Or if it's not a certain amount, they end up sending you B-Dubs gift cards. But with the percentage of it going up year by year, or however they do it, with the turnout we had, I think it'll be good enough to at least help buy a tire or fuel in the car and stuff like that. So
Yeah, buying one, saving $400 for a tire is a lot,
right,
dude.
exactly.
It's crazy how much the tires are costing, and
Oh yeah,
you're lucky enough to make them last the whole life cycle
yep.
before you even get it to cut or get a hole in it or something like that. So I'm with you on how much all that helps. And your suit this year, did you get a new suit, or do you have the same one from
No,
last
so
year?
the suit is the same from last year. Um,
Because I know, was that an Angry Duck too?
yeah, Angry Duck designed it. I was actually one of the first people to get, I think it's a 2 layer. Yeah, with like all the different design colors and stuff on it and all the sponsors. So I was the first one. So if you actually go look that suit up, you'll see my suit, and it's like marketed all over the place for Kurt at Angry Duck. But it's a very nice suit, like real tight fitting. You can get it slim or you can get it loose. I was just talking to a guy today, like, I like my stuff to be like almost Under Armour type. You're going to sweat anyway, so I like to have it tight because I want to feel tight in the car, tight as possible. And yeah, so there's a lot of options, colors, designs, tightness, looseness, length stuff. The biggest thing with doing that was I had to go out to Men's Warehouse and get measured, and he sent me a sheet and everything. And
Yeah.
then I don't remember how long it took him to get it designed. I think Sean at Apex designed it for him, and then they sent it in and got it all done for me.
Yeah, that's cool. Custom suits are always sweet. Like I had a Kears one the one year,
Mm-hmm.
but since every other year I've had just an all black suit.
Right.
So
You
I've
stay pretty basic, and then you don't like
yeah.
stand out
So
when you don't want to
I
stand
do want
out.
to get one of those ones whenever I get some extra money to spend on it, because they
Right.
do look sweet.
Yeah, they are pretty nice.
What about your helmet too?
So yeah, I got a story about that. Like I said, I race iRacing with Ferguson.
Uh-huh.
He's actually like a sponsored driver for Bell or something like that. Like they have, if you go on the Bell website, they have like an athletes tab and who drives what, and he's under there. So he hooked me up. Maybe he's like an ambassador or something.
Mm.
He hooked me up and got me a helmet, and I paid for it. And like a couple of days later, it was here already. And he lives in North Carolina, and I took it to Sean Rutt at Apex, and he's never done a helmet wrap before, and he's like, "Oh, I want to try it." And I'm like, "Well, it'd be cool to get a helmet wrap." So he hooked me up with that, and it turned out sweet.
So Sean wrapped it.
Yeah, Sean did wrap it.
Yeah, wrapping
It's like a
helmets has
baby
been cool.
blue. It's pretty sweet.
Yeah, they've been. I got mine painted through Explicit, go-kart buddy I had. He's up in Delaware, but I've always had mine painted, so I was always curious how the wraps would hold up, or probably makes it easier for when you want to change the design on the helmet at least.
Yeah, you can always rip it off and get something else or whatever you wanted to do.
Man, you dirt guys are bougie.
What do you
Custom
mean?
fire suits, custom helmets.
Yeah, you would think we're like
in the
IndyCar
asphalt
drivers or
world,
something.
you just get a white Simpson helmet and you
But
get
you
a
can't see it. You're in a
Yeah.
Half the
car with a
compact
jet.
guys are in jeans with a half fireproof jacket on.
they're in the Summit Racing branded fire suit that costs like
The Summit
$100.
race equipped 2-piece suits with the pants and the jacket. Yeah.
But
I mean, there's
before-
nothing against them. It's just you look good, you feel good, you do good.
Yeah, I
You gotta
went through
look
that
the
phase
part.
with the go karts. It was just
Yeah.
like,
What?
what
Yeah,
can
and
we
with
get
all
to
you
make it happen, So
with
I
all
get
you
it.
guys coming from go karts, you gotta have that in go karts. So
Well, when I raced karts, I think it was my second year, we had some janky helmet, so I could have all the, different colored visors, the amber one, the dark one,
Yeah.
all that cool stuff. You pay for the sun and whatever. It looked cool, but in the long run, like you can't use it anywhere else, so it ain't really worth your buck. But
Yeah. I remember I always had plain white helmets when I did go-karts. And I always wanted a Simpson Shark and I always wanted it painted. My parents always said no because it was too
yeah,
expensive. So that's why the first helmet I bought was a Bell. I got it painted. Then I finally bought a Simpson Shark, my dream helmet that I've always wanted, and got it painted. So I had to do that out of just respect for me.
right.
Go right up there.
See, I wanted one, but the Bell helmet, and I was looking, I'm like, man, like helmets nowadays are so high up in price, and then it's like you need to make sure you get the right one so you can see good out of it and what's comfortable and all that. So I'm asking or not thousands, but a couple of people like, hey, what do you wear? What do you like
Yeah.
this? Like all that stuff.
Yeah,
You
it's
see a
always
Sheldon collar?
interesting.
But it is cool though. Like if you get on the Bell website, it shows the athletes who are like
I got a
ambassadors or
Sheldon collar
whatever,
on.
and it shows what helmet they're wearing. So it's pretty cool there. Like I think Brian Brown, he's one of the big guys for Bell, and it shows his helmet and what it is, and because once they're all wrapped, if it's got a Bell sticker on it, it's a Bell helmet at that point.
Yeah.
You got your designs and stuff, but from a distance away, you ain't. It's just a
Yeah,
Bell
you don't know
helmet.
what it is unless
Right.
Yeah, and it's hard finding. I don't know if I still have the perfect setup yet, how I've got all mine rigged up, but it's hard to find that like perfect setup to where your visor seals good to where you can still get air in,
Yep.
not fogging up, and you can breathe good and not. I mean, I've got all the deflectors in mine and everything, and some spots taped up. I've got mine pretty set up now, I think. But
Yeah. If you ever see me like going like this, it's because he likes to slap me. You'll see a Paul just reach into the frame, and we just sit here and fight all the time.
he wants his limelight.
Yes.
This is why Chris takes so long to get the pictures posted after the race.
Yeah, because I've usually got all four of mine sitting here, needing attention from me.
Yeah, it's
But-
funny. Like we'll go race, and the next day I'll be online just swiping down just to see if they
Keep
uploaded
refreshing
it.
to see if it's up yet. Messaging them
That's
like,
one
"Hey,
thing
when are
that
the
you look
pics up?"
forward to. Right.
What I wanted to ask earlier, who's your favorite driver growing up or currently? It doesn't have to be a sprint car guy. It could be late model, could be NASCAR. Who's a dream driver? You've had a role model driver, someone you kind of, looked up to be and aspired to be if you were, had your silver platter.
I don't know really. I mean, I like Casey Kane because he's kind of like a all around guy, like NASCAR, and then he's really helped with the sprint car stuff. Having his own team and all that stuff, and bringing in Brad and all those guys. And then he ran for Hendrick, so I was a big fan of Casey Kane. And NASCAR wise, we were always Jeff Gordon fans. I was born after Dale Earnhardt passed away, so I never got to see him race. But Jeff Gordon was like the next big thing. Him and Harvick, and guys like Kyle Busch, Kurt Busch.
Kyle Busch.
Yeah.
Oh
I'm not
God,
really
you're a
big Kyle
youngin'.
Busch- I'm not a big.
You were born
Kyle Busch
after
fan.
he died?
After Dale Earnhardt, yeah. So I was born in November.
Yeah,
Same
that
year.
year.
Oh, God, what are you, like 23?
22. I'll be
Damn,
23.
Damn, all these kids.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
just legally was able to drink beer last year.
Yeah.
Dang.
Yeah. I got a year under my belt though.
The young
I-
kids coming up, man.
I got 12 years
Yeah.
under my belt.
Yeah, I grew
Legally
up
or illegally?
legally for a year.
Yeah.
Anything illegal is a legend, so it doesn't really count. I never was a Jeff Gordon fan growing up. And like now, I was talking to my uncle about the other day. I was like, man, I wish I knew more about Jeff Gordon when I was younger. I probably liked him a lot more because now I really like Jeff Gordon.
Right.
You
He
know, but
used
I
to run a
think,
sprint car too.
yeah, I
Back
think
at
I think I
Lakeville.
I didn't like him because I grew up a Dale Earnhardt fan.
Right. Well, a lot of
Um,
people don't like him because he was like a top contender to Dale Earnhardt and then the rainbow car. So
The Rainbow Warrior.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the exact opposite of the Man in Black.
Yeah.
So
We
Yeah,
were,
I don't. The Jeff Gordon thing, he's cool now. I wish I liked him when I was younger, but you know, Dale Earnhardt said put him in the wall. I'd put him in the wall.
yep.
we were a Mark Martin household.
Mark Martin.
I did
Pfizer,
get to
Viagra.
ask Dale Jarrett in person if he'd drive the truck, though. So that was,
What'd he say?
he said, not anytime soon, son. I was like in middle school or whatever.
Those were the
so-
best commercials. The UPS Jarrett commercials.
we
But,
don't get commercials like that anymore.
No,
that's the problem. Before
Yeah.
we get into a little of the other racing this weekend, Lance, did you have you want to thank your sponsors? You know, give some
Oh,
shout outs.
yeah. Shout out some people
Yeah,
here.
this
Show
take
some love. And
forever. Hopefully you got time.
we got
Oh,
time, man.
Yeah, I got a lot of people that I have to thank. Sponsor wise, Jason Margot, J Margot Homes, J Margot Rents. It's all combined with Keller Williams Realty. Patriot Capital Financial, he's in Ashland. He helps out. Z-Max, they do some lubricant stuff for me. Joe's Hand Cleaner in Oklahoma, I actually got a hold of them over Chili Bowl, and they ended up coming on board. So they help out a lot with product and
That's
a little bit
cool.
of other stuff. Who else here? We got Ultimate Container. That's another thing with that J Margot Homes. It's actually what they do is shipping container homes. So they take a shipping container and flip it into a complete little house. You know, they're pretty nice. It's about the size of a 22, 26 foot trailer or whatever. About eight
Kind
and a
of the
half
size of a
wide.
shipping
So
container.
it's like a camper basically.
Yeah.
I really hope I don't forget anybody. Angry Duck, they do my shirts and website and stuff. Sean Rudd, Apex Designs, All American Roof Pros in Mansfield, so that's not too far down the road. Who else do we got to thank? Grieber Racing Components. They actually, I met Ken not too long ago and went up there and got some parts, and he helped me out a little bit. High Speed Tie, that's Joe Adorjan. He's been in my corner here a lot recently. His wife actually got me a hold of Angry Duck, I think a year or two ago, whatever, to get us started with that. Who else?
Joe's helping a lot of people with that high speed tie deal recently. That's a pretty cool.
Yeah,
deal.
well, the thing was with them, I was just buying nuts and bolts here and there, and the next thing you know, I've been getting all these parts from him. I'm like, dude, I need to get a hold of him. He's like, well, you already got your code and everything. And I'm like, well, I didn't know that. I thought that was just a one-time deal. He's like, no, that's everything you order. I'm like, sweet, So other than that, I got Racer's Realm on board. He does my powder coating. He's in Lucas. And then I probably just got to thank a lot of people that helped me. Fred Horton, he's like our one of our crew guys. My car is actually at his house. Without that, my car would be in a really tiny garage. There'd be no room to work, and it wouldn't even be insulated or heated or anything like that. That's where the trailer stays, quad, all that fun stuff. Last year I had JB Scarborough on board, and he used to run sprint cars back in the early 2000s. He's a track champ at Wayne County. He helps me out a lot with setup stuff and just general knowledge of the car, really. And I'm hoping that he could come help us out when he can, and that's a big contributor to me. Definitely an ace in the card deck.
Yeah.
And then mom and dad do a lot. Obviously, they definitely number one supporters of all of it. My sister, she's getting more involved in it. She was out of state last year, so she couldn't come around a whole lot. But like I said, it's a big family deal. My girlfriend, she's starting to get a little bit more involved. Who else we got? I got a number one merch guy. Every time something comes out, he's always buying something, you know. And he's like, "Hey, I just ordered 3 shirts in different colors or different hats and stuff like that," you know. And then when it comes to the car in general, like, I got a lot of people that help me out. Ryan Prosser helps me out. He's close to me in Mansfield. Troy and Dylan Keegan, they're over in Ashland. Dylan was just helping me the other day. I had to get dimensions for my quad so we can put tires and a toolbox and a push bumper all on it. So I had all that stuff done. One of his buddies over in Ashland did it for us. Then Tyler and Jason Street, they helped me out a lot with some parts, whatever, you know, they have laying around or trying to get rid of, you know. A lot of that stuff helps me out. Jeremy and Jonah Allman, they're in Mansfield too, right up the road. Jeremy's really been helping me out a lot recently. He's a mechanic, Jeremy's Auto Service in Mansfield. My truck's been there a lot recently, having some problems, you know. Just picked it up today, had a fuel pump need fixed and or a new installment. And you know, he's always telling me, "Hey, go get these tires for your truck so when you're pulling that trailer, like, you know, you're good," and all that stuff like that. He just put control arms on it. So like he's getting me ready, you know. And then when it comes to sprint car parts, like Jonah's been into it for a little bit and Jeremy raced a lot before Jonah, so he's always been in the mix and had parts and stuff laying around, and he helps me out a lot and helps make things work, you know. I'm sure I'm forgetting somebody. I gotta be. But yeah, if I forgot somebody, I'm sorry, you know. It just kind of is what it is, you know. Like,
Yeah, and it's just cool.
really easy
You
to
said the
see
people
when
that are helping you are the people that you're racing against too. You know, so it's nice to have that.
Yeah, and even Burkhardt helped me out, like getting me started, you know, like giving me some parts to like kind of go through and figure out what works. And he's like, "Hey,
yeah,
you know,
I think all
if
I
it
gave
works
you was
for
some
you,
fuel
just-"
lines. Is all I gave you, but
Right. Well, it didn't even matter, you know, just helping me out. Like that's something that, you know, we went through and took the time and figured out what was going to work, and he was cool with it, so that really helped us out. I know I'm probably shooting myself in the foot, but I'm sure there's got to be somebody else. It's definitely on
that's all right. If
tip
you
of tongue,
forget,
but
we can shout them out later. Like you said,
right.
we always want to have.
It's really easy when the car's in front of you, though. It really
Yeah,
is.
it's really easy to take a quick peek at it and make sure
Yeah.
you know you got everyone covered. But you know, we'll be hitting you back up too once kind of get the year going and seeing how things go. So we can touch back up on any people we missed at that point and stuff too. And you watch other racing, so you might have some comments or some interjection on some of this upcoming stuff too, if you want to stick around and
I'll
talk
start off
shit
with
or change my mind.
Coda. Did anyone watch Coda?
Nah, I didn't watch it, but I did see some stuff about it.
I think
watched the end of it.
I'm sure everybody saw the same thing.
I think the road course domination. I mean, I know we went from 6 to 5 or whatever. I think it's time to cut down on the road courses.
Yeah.
I'm going to say two different contradicting things, but I don't know how NASCAR racing on a FIA Grade 1 circuit really feels.
Yeah.
But it also, but I'll say in the same breath, Indy put on that embarrassing race at Thermal Club this weekend because of their 6-week gap. It breaks up their 6-week gap. Why not do a Indy NASCAR doubleheader at Coda?
Too many people.
That would be a lot. Yeah. What was the deal with? I didn't see what was the deal with the IndyCar race. What was so shitty about that?
All right.
He said, "Don't get me started."
Yeah, don't get me started on this because, Kyle and I we both really enjoy IndyCar. It would be probably like third in my list behind like NASCAR and dirt stuff, but the whole thing just felt like the whole broadcast kind of felt like, hey, you poors, look at this thing you can't afford. I mean, the whole thing was at this country club exclusive racetrack, and throughout the whole broadcast, like poor Townsend Bell is like having to placate the members of this, country club of, oh, they were so gracious to let us come and race at their facility this week.
Yeah.
They're doing camera shots on someone's balcony of their $15 million house overlooking this racetrack.
Yeah.
And it's just like, dude, the whole broadcast was just like cringe. It was just like the whole thing felt like, oh, you poors could never afford this. I mean, they might as well have called all of their fans the poors the whole time. It was fucking gross. It was like, I hated it. The guy doing the start your engines, it was like the weakest. It was just like, you or I walk up to a mic and we're like, drivers, start your engines. The whole broadcast was awful. The whole
it just set the tone for the whole day because it doesn't have a good.
Kyle,
have a good gentleman start your engines, kind of like Kevin James. No one gets as pumped as him. Yeah.
I literally laughed out loud when he did that. Driver, start your engines.
I'll never forget it.
Oh my God. Just drivers, start your engines.
Oh, I'm talking about you have to send me a link on that because I can't believe it's that bad.
Oh my God. Yeah. It's horrible. The worst.
Like you guys are saying, you're IndyCar fans like normally. So like when you're saying this, like it like really tells me that like
this whole event sucked.
So they advertised it as the Thermal $1 million challenge. So you're thinking it's like the NASCAR All-Star race, and winner walks away with $1 million. They don't say anything until the second heat race that no, the winner takes home $500,000. And then, as things come out,
who's poor now?
Yeah, sixth place got the same payout as someone who didn't qualify for the race.
Damn.
So,
sounds like a rough payout.
It was, the whole thing just felt like awful. The whole
probably not going to be a second visit.
Well, I don't know.
Probably will be.
It probably will be. I understand
stupid choices all the time.
I understand the business decision behind this. What they were doing is they go out to Thermal Club where it is probably rich executives who work for a company, do this or that. They're trying to find sponsors. Everything's B2B business to business sponsorship now. So they go out here and try and find the marketing manager for, whatever company out there. He's got the marketing budget. He can, they're doing this basically exclusive event. Tickets were originally $2,000 for fans. A weekend ticket was $2,000, and you didn't have any support races. You just had the IndyCar series. I mean, they did 4 practices and qualifying, but a normal Indy weekend, if you go to Mid-Ohio, there's racing on track every 15 minutes.
That's what I was gonna say, man. Mid Ohio is like amazing with that.
Yeah, there's something on track every 15 minutes, whether it be one of the feeder series, Carrera Cup, whatever. We haven't got it the last 2 years, but the Stadium Super Trucks. God, I hope those come back. But dude,
Big
the
Robbie
whole
Gordon fan here.
Yeah, Robbie.
the whole event just felt so gross. It just like the broadcasters might as well just said, "You poors could never afford this."
Yeah, look
Yeah.
at this nice, look at this beautiful country club, and they have
Yeah,
a putting green. You have Thompson Bell just
Yeah, like you're at a
on the
golf
putting
course.
green, just like, oh, this is great.
I was
And I
talking to
love
my
golf, but that just
Look at
sounds
the
like it's way too
spa.
much.
Well, I was talking to my boss who's
that
who's a
preppy
big
stuff.
golfer, and he also likes IndyCar. And they kept saying, "Oh, this is like Augusta. This is IndyCar's Augusta." And when I was talking to my boss, he goes, "No, it's not." He goes, "There's no prestige. There's no heritage." With
Yeah,
the
let's
thermal
say it's not
club.
the same. It wouldn't be.
Indianapolis Motor Speedway is the Augusta
Yeah, dude,
Yeah,
that's
of
that's
IndyCar,
everything.
just
It's
as
the Masters, it's
Daytona
the
is
Augusta.
the
it's-
Augusta of freaking NASCAR.
Yeah,
Yeah, the whole thing just felt super gross. Like I was building
Thermal
Lego
is your
again during it.
local freaking country club, members only country club that a whole bunch of rich morons go to.
I had to laugh. They were like, "Oh, the buffet set up in the clubhouse, and there's literally like a 5-star chef like making an omelet on a frying pan or something." I'm like, "Yeah, that." When I think of buffet setup, I'm thinking of Golden Corral, and you're
Golden
getting-
Corral. Yeah, man.
yeah, you're pulling
Hell
fried.
yeah.
You're behind the kid pulling fried chicken out with his bare hands.
Extra flavor. Because I'm
You got
pretty
somebody
sure.
just
So
licking
Dakota,
the
I'm pretty
chocolate
sure
fountain.
I am the one who picked the winner.
Yes,
So
I think you
I'm
did.
pretty pumped about that. Because I went,
Oh,
I went.
good
So
for you.
I went on. I was watching. I'm like, oh, Coda's on. I saw it. And there was like, he was like in 5th place, and I'm like, no way, And I looked to see where everyone else was. I was like, look where Bowman was, where Larson was. And by the time it was over, I was like, yep, finally, one time. And
Yeah,
what was
that-
the deal with Bush and Bell? Bush and Bell.
That's
Oh,
all
I
I saw about
I
the
only
race.
saw
I
the
didn't
video
watch
of him. Shit. I only saw the video of him coming up to him after the race and like talking to him. But it
Bush
didn't.
went-
It didn't have like any. Like I was hoping he was gonna just like light him up or something, or hit him or cuss him out. It didn't really seem like it was any of that. But
Bush went wide in a corner, clipped Christopher. Christopher spun him out. And I mean, it was more or less kind of just two guys fighting for the same spot. And
the racing deal.
yeah,
I mean, I love Kyle Busch's hothead moments. That's the reason I like him. So I just was wondering why he was attacking
Kyle,
our
you
dirt
didn't-
driver.
you didn't notice Friday when I was at your house, I had a Kyle Busch hat on.
Did you?
Yeah, I had an M&M's racing hat on.
Did you guys also see that in F1 news?
Oh yeah,
Max Verstappen got last place. Well, he didn't get last place because the only American in Formula One got his car taken away so his teammate could race. So Alex Albon got to race Logan Sargent's car, but it was what? It was Ferrari, McLaren,
I think so.
or the other way
Yeah.
around, or
No, I think it's Ferrari.
which
Yeah,
was
what a
cool to see.
Yeah, I mean it's cool to see Ferrari on top of that again, but I'm getting to the point now where I was a Verstappen fan because he was the Lewis kryptonite, and I'm like, yep, put this Mercedes down, But now I'm kind of getting that way with Verstappen. Like I'm screaming papaya to do something for me.
I only like Max because of all of his weird streaming videos when he's doing iRacing and stuff, like being up till 4 a.m. the night of a race, still on iRacing.
Yeah, he's funny. I just need Lando to get a win here.
Yeah,
That's
and
all
then,
I need.
George Russell's crash was pretty scary.
Yeah.
Being sideways with the bottom of the car facing oncoming traffic. You know,
Yeah,
I think
the
it was
video
last,
of him like asking for a red flag.
yeah, just panickingly yelling red flag, red flag, red flag. And I mean, I think it was Lance Stroll who was coming on to him first. And luckily his team was on the radio just like yelling, hey, caution, caution, caution. He's coming up ahead. He's in the middle of the track. Like if there wasn't that communication, he would have nailed him in the middle of the undercarriage of his car, which is, of course, the most sensitive part of the car because it's normally protected by asphalt.
Yeah, it's not meant to be that part exposed in the car.
Yeah, so that was pretty scary. Back to IndyCar though. You know, I don't know. Did you mention Fittipaldi?
No.
Not being so what is it? Pietro Fittipaldi for Rahal. You know, was having some fuel issues. They didn't put enough fuel in the car for stage 1. We're using stages here. Stage 1 of the 20 lap main event at Thermal Club. And then he during the 10-minute intermission, he was basically told, the team was told that he couldn't continue because they didn't fully fuel the car, which apparently they weren't aware of.
The whole thing just seems like made up rules. Colton Herta was allowed to replace his whole nose, while one of the other cars, they weren't allowed to replace a side pod. They were only allowed to, you know, put bare bond on it. The whole thing
was allowed to do whatever he wanted.
Well, you know, he had to win that prize to settle the McLaren lawsuits. So,
see, that was one thing Formula One, there's a lot of rules with that. Like, I understand, like, all those engine changes, rear end changes, gearbox changes. I understand all those, but IndyCar, like, every time I try to figure out what they are allowed and not allowed to do, or, like, I never understand it because every time I always feel like it's different.
You just go to Marshall Pruitt, his Twitter, and figure out whatever he posted, and that's how you know.
We're allowing this week because so basically what you're saying is he posts and tells everybody how he's going to screw the next guy over that week, just posting a lot on his Twitter.
No, he's probably one of the best. He's the Bob Pockrass of IndyCar.
Okay.
So he knows everything about IndyCar.
So it's a legit deal. He's not like a
He knows.
Okay.
He's like the Wikipedia of IndyCar.
All right. That's what I was wondering, because you were like, he was saying that he was allowed to change the whole front nose cone section, and the other guy couldn't change the side pod. That's what I was kind of wondering. Like,
I think they went into this just, you know, fans complain that they never try anything new. They tried something new. If you looked at the reactions on Twitter, Sunday, it failed miserably with the fans. But you got to give them credit for trying something new, but they definitely did not have the idea hashed out whatsoever for the weekend.
Yeah.
So another big thing has come up involving NASCAR and IndyCar this week.
Oh yeah.
NASCAR. So apparently 50% share of the Long Beach Grand Prix, which has long been a doubleheader for IndyCar and IMSA, has come up for bid. And NASCAR has put in a substantial bid for part ownership in the Long Beach Grand Prix. And Penske Entertainment has also put in a bid. Not that they have anywhere close to the money that NASCAR does, but we could see an exit, if this deal goes through, of IndyCar. And it could be a NASCAR racing in Long Beach. I don't know how those cars are going to get around those tight turns, because it looked like everything with Chicago was just massive street course, like
what happened to just
wide.
racing Watkins Glen and being done?
I think
or Watkins Glen and Road America.
Yeah, like what I'm fine with what Road America, Watkins Glen, but what's up with all Like you were saying earlier, Chris, like I got how many
It's the oversaturation.
other road course
where-
races, and like it's different. Like you said, if it's like Watkins Glen racing, I feel like is not that bad for NASCARs the way the track's set up. Like you're saying, them going to Long Beach or something, especially them short, tighter corners. Like them cars don't. Maybe the electric ones will be there. I don't know, but I just don't see how.
two a year. Sonoma and Watkins Glen. That's
Sonoma's
it.
another
That's
good one.
That's the old school tracks.
No.
Just go to that. Expand the different ovals. Try smaller ovals.
Yeah, I would rather them see. Yeah, I would. That would be more exciting to me. Expand on ovals than road course because
bring that Bristol tire to short
So
tracks.
another thing, NASCAR purchased the leasing rights for Bowman Gray this week, also or last week.
Yeah, they're going to run all the races.
Could we see eventually a NASCAR race at Bowman Gray?
It would have to be an all-star format. All-star
Which
or
still
Clash.
would be perfectly fine, and that would be amazing.
But I mean, it would just be the same fiasco and boring race that the Clash was.
Yep, replace the Clash with that. That's probably what they'll do. It don't count, it's just a preseason race kickoff.
See, I thought
party.
the Clash the first year. I thought the Clash was sweet the first year. Am I not remembering right?
No, the first year it was rad. The first year they were.
So I feel like I remember like the first year was sweet. It was short. You were beating the shit out of each other.
Yes, they were.
Like it was like real. It was like they were racing like late models out there. Like they didn't care.
Yes, the first year it was great.
Gateway.
Yeah, it's like Gateway Nets. So that's what I keep thinking of every time I hear the Coliseum, the Clash, and I think of like I know they had like the concerts and shit, but I think that year was like MGK maybe, and the race was
No,
good. So
this year was
Ice
MGK.
Cube, wasn't it?
Okay.
Yeah, it was
So
Ice
I'm just
Cube.
mixing up my years. So the racing was good the first year.
Yeah.
It ain't
The
been nothing
performance
since.
by Ice Cube was, and all the old
Ice
people
Cube.
were bopping their heads and stuff, and everyone else is like, "Who is this guy?"
Yeah.
Why is the detective from SVU?
Yeah.
I did get that right. Yeah. Ice-T is the one that's on the family movies.
Ice-T and Ice Cube.
No, you got it wrong, I think.
Yeah, because Ice Cube
Ice-T.
is
Sergeant Tutuola, sir. Ice Cube
Ice
is
Cube's
from
a rap.
Are we there yet?
Are we
In terms of our media knowing,
That's a
Ice-T is from SVU. Ice Cube is apparently he was a rapper at one point.
Oh, come on. Today was a good day.
Can you tell I'm late on dinner?
Where's NASCAR at this week?
Richmond.
Oh.
Yeah, let's make our picks.
A car with 4 wheels is going to win.
What?
Hey, you can say that now because there was a vehicle at COTA that lost its whole rear axle.
Oh yeah,
that truck.
That was Marco Andretti's truck.
Yeah, I seen that. I saw all the picture of it.
The amazingness of Andretti Global right there. I know.
Yeah, that was impressive.
And
I don't know who to even pick now because now I'm in the hot seat. Coming off a big win here. I don't think I've ever picked a driver to win a race ever, honestly. So I'm pretty ecstatic about Byron getting
I went out on a limb last week and chose a Hendrick driver that needs a win. So I'll go with the other Hendrick driver who needs a win, and I'll pick Alex Bowman.
I'm going to go with Daniel Suarez just because I haven't picked him yet.
Ooh. Lance, you go. I was still thinking.
AirPod died. Okay. It's tough. So, who won it last year?
I don't know.
I think it was
Probably a Joe Gibbs driver.
Probably Larson.
Larson.
Chris Buescher.
Buescher.
He wins things?
He won 3 races last year.
Yeah. tune in that much, but
Yeah, I don't even know who. I don't really even hear him ever.
I don't know.
Just drop the 5 car. Come on.
I gotta say Larson probably. To be honest with
Man,
you.
that's what everybody. That's what all you dirt guys say. Larson.
Hey, if it wasn't Larson, it's got to be Chastain, but I don't know.
That's a good one too.
Good old Ross Crash Stain in the Don't Give a Fuck tour.
I'm
is
gonna
funny
go
because-
with. I'm going with Kyle Busch. Just because he got the tempers flared up. No one
Yeah.
ever picks him. I think he's gonna be hot, hungry, and moving people.
And then
Kyle Busch. When's the last time he's even won?
It's been a minute.
last year,
Oh.
Yeah, I think he got the one at the beginning of last year, and that was it.
In the Lucas oil car.
Yeah. I'll give Kyle Busch a chance here.
So
Everyone's probably gonna
KFB.
bitch at me and dog on me, but it's better than Denny Hamlin. So
Fuck Denny.
Yeah. I don't know about Denny. I've been trying to watch that Netflix thing they got going on, but
It is. I do like that,
it's
and
hard.
His podcast is not bad. Action's Detrimental is not bad, but
Just
Yeah,
I listened to the one
tune
about
in
him pissing
after
himself.
He's had a bad weekend. Because then he just crybabies the whole episode.
Like a Kardashian show.
Yeah, I know we got a lot of Denny Hamlins in here, fans in here. Crawford's a big Denny Hamlin fan. He's a big one.
yeah, Lance, did you think of any other sponsors you might have missed?
Not off of him. I don't know. I think we're good.
All right. Anyone else got anything for the week?
I think that's it.
Just glad
I've
Lance
got
got to get on here for finally, and I know we got some other guys that want to get on. I know Bradley Ashford wants to get on. Been trying to get up some other guys from some different series, but everybody's busy. Everyone's right now everybody's thrashing
Yeah.
and stuff too, so it's kind of hard.
We're 2 weeks away from the season starting, at least at
Woo.
Wayne. So technically almost a week. So
We're gonna have to guess winners on the Attica races Friday. Who do you got winning Attica? Got a guess on that?
the only one I know racing is Sean.
Sean, Tyler Gunn, and all them guys. You've never been to like Attica, Fremont, probably normally enough.
I know. Guys. I know Cap's probably racing.
Yeah, Cap, TJ Michael, Ray
We
Hall.
got denied credentials, or I would have probably already been out.
Nuh-uh.
Yeah, they denied us. I'm gonna see for some of the other races if I just pay a pit pass if I can go in.
Yeah,
because I got so much vacation time I got to use this summer, and the only thing planned is like a couple Mid-Ohio things, and then Eldora. So yeah, I might see and just take some Fridays off.
Yeah, well, we can we'll do a pick next week for Wayne County's race then. What Lance, you said you're going to Wayne County this weekend for the practice day, right? Is Wayne County going to be your first race of the year? I don't know if we really asked that, but we can hit that real quick.
Right. It's kind of up in the air right now. I know 100% we're banking on April 13th with Fast at Wayne County. I'd like to get a practice under my belt, and I would like to run next weekend, but it's all kind of play by ear and just trying to see where everything's going to line up, getting stuff done. Still got some trailer work to do, and we'll see where we're at.
Yeah, I think we'll definitely be at both of. At least I will. I don't know about Kyle. Fuck Kyle. I'll probably be at both of them.
I'll probably be at the 13th.
Probably.
More than likely.
Yeah, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna try to play on next weekend. So
Get your car freaking ready.
she said to. I just gotta go fire it. She's ready. I need Ohio. I need them Ohio. I need to get a bigger Ohio Motorsports sticker.
Yeah, I need to look into ordering those.
Get
But
it bigger.
yeah, I think I've got a weenie dog that's licking my leg, trying to get the bones out of it. So anything else tonight? He's hungry. It's been.
I think that's it.
That's it. Thanks for coming, Lance. I appreciate it, bro.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, thanks for coming on, man.
Yep, I appreciate it. Thanks
Look
for having
forward to seeing how the beginning of the year goes and getting back to you here in a month or two.
me. Yep.
Yeah, we'll
Uh-huh.
definitely have
Hopefully
you back
still
on.
together.
All right. Well, we will see everyone next week. And just like I say every week, in a weird fashion, if you want to be where Lance is, not directly, because that would be weird. You'd be inside of his house or garage. That'd be a little awkward. But if you want to be in that fourth square, hit us up on Facebook or any other social media platform that we're on, and you too can be an esteemed guest of the ever so popular FTI podcast. But that is all we have for this week. Enjoy. Good luck to our guys traveling to Attica. Good luck to our guys going to Wayne County this weekend for practice. And if you're bored on Sunday, go watch the NASCAR race. But that's
Go
all
Kyle
we
Busch.
have. So we'll see you guys next week.
See ya.
See ya.